Yeah, so what else have you got here? You've got Stugs. Well, you got the rest is artillery and well, 88s. I suppose you talk about the 88s first, because they're kind of separate. Yeah, I don't know what your opinions are on 88s. We called them glass cannons on multiple planets before because that's what they are. Uh, they have a lot of firepower, but they're also very easy to kill.
In terms of AT, they're not that good. Like advanced AT would be probably better. No, it's the same.
Yeah, but they have 600 range as well, which
Yeah,
is
that's
significant.
the thing I was going to mention. Plus, they have AA capabilities.
Yep.
Like one shot from 88 would rout any plane that is not on
Yeah.
fanaticism. So it's. I used a couple of 88s back in the day, and it's not my favorite unit because it's so easy to lose, and it's 40, which is a lot. But it
Very
makes a
expensive.
difference in the early game.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
well, when you're playing big games, like I would never suggest these, especially in big games, because or when your opponent has air, because it's such a juicy target, like I call it juicy, you know, you just like drool when you see that 88 recon, you know, you're
Oh,
like,
you
oh
have
my
to
god.
babysit this unit. Like
Yeah.
you really do have to take care of it.
yeah.
Okay.
In 1v1, I'll just say what you can build one of them. Beyond that, don't build more than 188. Beyond that, you've got to get tanks or some JU-87s or whatever. But don't count on flak 88s for all of your AT needs. They're way too
Oh,
expensive, way
definitely
too
not.
fragile.
Definitely not.
So, yep.
Okay, so moving on.
Hobbits.
Comments?
Yeah, well, the rest of them is all artillery units.
The Hobbit
Yeah, and
75.
sorry.
The Hobbit's 75 millimeter.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I thought you were saying like a hobbit, not hobbit.
No, no, I'm sorry.
Uh,
I was like, what? Is that a reference to Lord of the Rings?
well,
Sorry,
yeah. So
sorry.
the German artillery lineup is actually not that varied in RUSE. Germans is pretty standard as well. You've got your you've got light artillery, then heavy artillery, assault guns, and heavy assault guns, and I think that's the same sort of general thing for most nations. At least Italy is more or less the same, aren't they?
Yeah, so RT is
Yeah,
just
bro, they just
average,
cost
average
15
unit.
each. The
Yeah.
Hobbit 75 cost 15 each. They're pretty good. You know, a couple of them early on in a 1v1 can make a good difference for you. However, if you're going up like against a nation, say like France, who gets $10 I'm sorry, a what am I looking for here?
Artillery.
Artillery
Yeah.
guns. Right, they're not going to stack up well because they're too expensive at 15. So you might
Although
want to look at the
you can
Stug.
surprise a French player that I usually find that some French
Yeah,
players would like select we should mention that one round of shells from three light arty will kill a building. So
that's
usually
right.
Yeah.
player just build three out of start and then attack your depot or whatever, or try to attack your depot. So they would actually like set up in a line. So if you have your own RT that is like maybe spread out or even in the radio silence zone, you can like just jump them and kill them in one volley before they could realize what's going on. So
Yep, that's a
they
good
wouldn't expect you
proactive
to yeah.
proactive opening with that, like you were talking about, barracks, RD base, two or three hobbitses, and you start taking out their buildings right off the bat. It's good
Yeah, plus
active
15
like
is not too bad, although they're very fragile again. Like infantry
Hmm.
tanks
yeah,
would take it
Oh
apart
yeah, but they're
quickly.
definitely usable. They're quite a popular unit, I think.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
I have no problem
I
using
can't
them.
say the same thing about the Hobbit's 150 millimeter.
Indeed.
Up It upgrades for $50, and I
It
just
costs
don't
50.
find it,
It's again it's
and it's
average. Like
50.
for a
Yeah,
price of 50 and 50 upgrade, it's the same as other nations really, except of Russians where they get like a
yeah. I
free
usually
push
only
gun.
build
So
those to
Search
show my
for.
opponent that I'm kicking his ass, and I flaunt them like, "Hey, I've got enough money to build Hobbits 150s."
yeah.
Ah, Like that's the only time I build
Yeah.
those.
Yeah, if I ever
But
want long range artillery from Germans, usually go for the proto base and get either Werframen or mortars. I
awesome.
Yeah,
think.
they
Yeah.
do a bit more damage, so if you have enough money to be doing that, and you can attack your opponent more safely. You don't have to be in dangers of strafing runs as much as light arty. But yeah, it's I don't see those much often. I think I've never seen that in 1v1s. Like usually that wouldn't happen.
No, I don't think I've seen them in 1v1s either.
No.
The Stugs then. They're quite useful. I like Stugs. They cost 25, they're armor
Great.
3, I think.
Yep.
650 range, which is more or less standard for an assault gun. But no, I think they're a good all-round assault gun. They do exactly what you want them to, don't they?
This is
Absolutely.
my tip for dealing with France. It's probably Stags. Like you want those to be able to counter the RT spam, usually, because they do some damage to the light vehicles, which RT is. Um, Plus they don't take pretty much none of the damage from the light RT.
Yeah.
So
They're armor 3. They only, they're 25 each. There's no upgrade, so you can immediately get them out, and they're great for hitting positions like the AT guns in the
Basically,
woods.
they're a South 40 for the same price without the gun.
no,
That's
no,
the
no,
There
idea.
you
no,
go.
no. Some 40s is another OP unit that my personal favorite OP unit. It does more damage and has a tank gun on it. So
Yeah.
it costs the same. Okay, you have
Yeah,
a
That is,
25 upgrade, which is nothing. Um, yeah, let's not get
yeah,
into it. Like South 40
yeah.
is
yeah.
just
The
This
better
Sub
is
than
about
40
that
does
unit.
Germany.
like nearly double the damage to buildings than a Stug, but yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, they'll, I don't know what, you people use them for, but mainly, their best use is countering enemy light artillery. And
Yeah,
by light artillery,
that's
I
and
mean
destroying buildings
artillery
more
with no
safely.
armor. Yeah.
Yep.
And, even if you have a couple of them in your stack, yeah, they can destroy AT guns exactly. They can also take hits,
Yeah.
because they're actually armor 3, which can take a bit of a beating. And, then the upgrade from those is Sturm Tigers. Now they're fun. They're a fun unit. Before the
Yes.
Hatos of Japan came along, they were the Hatos. The Hatos are the ones that do insane damage. I don't know if you know what I'm talking
But
about, but
the painful thing about it's an upgrade that is actually arguably an upgrade in my opinion. Like you get like a 10 or 11 less speed. Level armor 5,
Right.
which is ridiculously high for a unit like that,
yeah,
and a price tag
Right.
of 40, which is
yeah,
huge. Plus, you're probably gonna need like 2 or 3 of those to be able to kill
No,
efficiently
no,
yeah,
no.
buildings.
and only
Two,
15 more range.
two,
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 is it?
two of them
I've
is the magic
never
number.
used them in a real game.
If if
No,
the
no,
thing
no,
about them
nor
is
do I.
that they're very circumstantial, and you don't want to you're not going to build them if you have to move them far to get them up to the front lines. If you happen to have an AA base and you're going to be able to build them or upgrade and build them and attack pretty quickly with them, then they could be so useful on a map like against France, who has a lot of AA. I mean, sorry, unarmored A guns, AT guns, artillery guns, and they're in the bushes, and they got infantry in the bushes. Sturm Tigers just wreck units in the trees and in towns. They wreck them. I mean, they really you get
But
your
you've got
money's worth
Werframen
out of
for
them.
that.
What's that? Werfamen?
Werframen, yeah, from your
Yeah,
proto base. I don't know.
that's true. They're a little bit different, I think, in their roles, in my opinion. I mean,
Yeah,
well, of course, the proto is $100. You gotta buy that and get it out. But Sturmtiger's armor 5 is so hard to kill the damn thing. That's
That's
another
true. That's true. Like
another
two
pro,
runs from Typhoon or Sternbeck.
right?
the Hurricane. I mean,
So
5 hurricanes, right? Yeah.
yeah, I think it's 5.
hurricane, at least 5 hurricanes, I think. Yeah,
Well,
kill it.
yeah. So it's really not practical to kill with fire bombers. If you
Although I
have
must say I'm not big fan of that unit. I've never
no,
used it
yeah,
properly in a
exactly.
game. I
It's one of my favorite units in the game.
Okay. I
love
know
it.
it
I
looks
love it.
awesome. It
Really?
actually looks
It's
like
sexy. It's
a
very sexy.
box
Okay.
with like a
The entire
super
German army
big
that
but
goes for,
short
I think,
gun.
the German army is the coolest army in the game, that's for sure. I
Agreed.
think they
Agreed.
look awesome. Uh, yeah, and like, I don't know if you've ever zoomed in on these buildings, for example, but their buildings are the coolest as well. Like, each nation actually has different building designs. When you zoom far in,
Yeah,
and
there's
they're
a
all
couple of funny
concrete
things.
and
I
grey.
think one of the French bases has like a huge rifle, like a rifle that is as big as truck. But you can see it's like an infantry rifle, but it's just the size of truck.
uh,
That's an Easter egg for you to find people. Just go and hunt for those.
well, yeah, and speaking of cool stuff, then why don't we go on to the German armor base, where they have all their cool tanks.
Oh yes.
Uh, and maybe starting with a bit of an anticlimax to that, let's start with the Panzer IIIs,
Oh, hold on, hold
light
on.
tanks.
We forgot to mention
Sorry.
the price tag for AA base. It's 45, which is
Oh yeah,
not expensive enough, but
yeah. Yes, it's definitely makes it considerable, but it's a powerful base to have for Germany. That's
it's
for sure.
actually funny because like a price tag for 45 AA base for Germany is okay for me, but for Italy it's like too expensive. No, I'm not getting that base.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, the armor base now. How much does the armor base cost? That 30 or 25? Or...
Armor's $30 for Germany.
Yeah,
Yep.
30. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the
Good
same as
price.
barracks, really. Yeah, it's not
That is,
bad.
yeah, that's a fair price.
Yeah.
But for
So
what you get, yeah. You know.
you have three slots. You have your light tanks, medium, and heavy. That's your German logic for you. And the only tank that starts unlocked are Panzer IIIs. Which probably is only useful for killing infantry and maybe raids in a 1v1.
It is 40
Don't know.
kilometers an hour, so now that is a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
but
pretty quick.
I don't know if you'd have any other uses for it than like quick hit and run type raids,
I
or
don't
killing
think they
infantry.
par very well with other tanks in the game. I'm not sure. I've never really
They
used them in fighting.
they stack up well. They stack up real well.
Oh, do
If
they?
it's
Okay.
like, I don't know why I keep going back to France, but like for example, if you got the B1, the BIS, that French players like to do, they throw two or three BISs at you, and they've got those are armor 4, I believe. They're hard to kill. But if you get like a horde of Panzer threes out, like 6 or 7 of them, most players don't expect it, and you can overwhelm them with Panzer threes and just wreck them. And one ruse, like fanaticism, will keep them moving and keep them firing. They fire quick, they fire fast, and they do real good damage. I mean, for what they do for $15. And then once you take out those couple of abysses, you've got 6 or 7 tanks swarming around the map, harassing from different angles. So
Yeah.
if you're not using it for that, then only build 1 or 2 of them and just see where you can harass with them, and that's it.
Uh, One thing to take into account is your German tanks aren't that great, or the early German tanks aren't that great at taking out infantry. They have the MG34 only does 26 damage, whereas in the MG42, which is in the later tanks, Panthers and KTs is King Tiger, does 33. It does make a difference, I think.
Yeah, it does make a big difference. Yeah, it's
Um,
quite a bit.
yeah. And the next
Also,
tank
if you
along,
play in Total War, Germany just get
oh
those
yeah.
tanks in 39, and it
Yeah,
is
you get like
painful.
Tigers and unmatched, yeah, like unrivaled even, like, there's no way.